Hello again and welcome to the Warhammer 40k Imperial Guard Tactics video. So today's video we will be continuing our basic tactics series where I go through just some very basic tactics for some newer guard commanders, or maybe for you older guard commanders like that it'll be maybe a new take on something, maybe it'll make you reconsider a unit or a weapon system. So we're going through the special weapons first. This is similar to a series I did in 7th edition, and the format of the videos is we go through the weapons, how much the weapon costs, what it does, its intended battlefield role, then kind of its actual battlefield role, and then finally finish off with where are you actually going to use this in your list, because the first understanding these weapon systems is very important because they're the first key step, the first tactic that you have is building a good list. And so you need to understand what your weapon systems can do. Now, I've sort of split the special weapons, and I'm going to do the same for the heavy weapons as well, into budget special weapons and elite special weapons, or expensive special weapons. So the first one we did is kind of like the king of the budget weapons, traditionally the cheaper weapons, and that was the grenade launcher. And today we're going to take a look at the sniper rifle. Now, the sniper rifle is a very interesting... what do I mean by budget, by the way? Budget, I generally mean cheap and cheerful. Maybe they're not all that powerful, but they're generally cheap. A lot of these, many of these budget weapon systems are maybe not the most effective, but solid workhorses of many lists, or you'll probably find them in every list. So the second one we're going to cover today is the sniper rifle. Now, the sniper rifle is one of the oldest weapons in Warhammer 40k. The Imperial Guard have pretty much always had access to it. Most factions have access to some kind of sniper rifle. Sometimes they're more exotic and they come with a whole host of special rules, but us being the Imperial Guard, we just get a good old-fashioned bog standard sniper rifle. Nothing too fancy here. Apologies for the picture. I literally have no well-painted sniper models. I don't really use them extensively. I have about 10 snipers. I don't really use them extensively because I'm Mordians, and I always feel like there's not really a good Mordian sniper model out there. Although I am thinking of investing in either some time in repainting my snipers, or which this one I literally painted when I was about 13, or buying some Destroying snipers, because they look like they could be quite good for Mordian Iron Guard fancy snipers. But anyway, yeah, this is one of the sniper models. Unfortunately, I'm embarrassed to say one of the better painted ones. But anyway, so what do you get for the sniper rifle? Well, it is the cheapest special weapon. I have seen, there's a player who comes down the club infrequently who pretty much only runs snipers as his special weapons. He takes something like 30 plus snipers in a list. Every infantry squad's got a sniper. Every command squad has got 2 or 3 snipers. He takes about 20 rattlings. He just loves snipers. He loves snipers. And so obviously it is possible to spam them because they are so damn cheap. I mean, a sniper rifle is 2 points. It's so cheap that if you run your infantry squad's bare bones and you find at the end of your it's almost better like, don't run them bare bones, pay 2 points and take a bloody sniper rifle, because you can't really go wrong with it. That is, I would say, the sniper's number one selling point is it's so cheap, and it will never eat up a huge amount of points in your list. Oh, pardon me. So if you're a kind of guy that runs a lot of bare bones infantry squads and you always find yourself with 10 or 15 points left over at the end of the list, just buy them a bunch of snipers. You probably won't regret it. If you've got literally nothing else you're going to spend your points on, get yourself some snipers. Now, for your mighty 2-point investment, you get what is essentially a bolter. So you might be thinking that's not a particularly good investment. Well, hear me out. It's heavy 1, so you get 1 shot. If you move, it's -1 to hit. That's the heavy part. But it's range 36 inches, so that's a pretty long range bolter. But it's strength 4, AP -0. So you're essentially paying. You can put a bolter on your sergeant, and that costs 1 point, and that's got 24-inch range. Or you could pay an extra point and get a 36-inch range. So that's one crazy thing about it. It's so cheap, and you're basically paying for a bolter. However, the sniper has 2 special rules that make it powerful. Number 1 is it is one of the very few weapons that can target characters in 8th edition, even if they're not the closest enemy unit. Okay? Normally, characters can only be targeted if they're the closest. Sniper rifles are designed to pick those characters out. The second special rule it has is if you roll to wound, and you roll a 6, you do a mortal wound instantly, and the enemy, in addition to the save the enemy has to make. So if you get a 6 at any point, whether that's against an Imperial Knight or against a Grot, or against a Bio-Titan or against a Guardian, it doesn't matter. If you get a 6, that unit takes a mortal wound, and the only way they can stop that is if they have some kind of feel no pain like save, such as disgustingly resilient on Nurgle models. But feel no pain is not that common anymore. So that's the good thing about snipers. They can inflict mortal wounds. And also the enemy has to take a save on that as well. So they essentially have the potential to do 2 wounds if you get a 6. So yeah, for 2 points, you think that's absolutely amazing investment. Now, it is really good. And I feel like I should use snipers more often. But the problem with snipers is that they rely on a number of factors. Okay. The first factor being they rely on a Guardian's Ballistic Skill 4. You only get 1 shot, or 4+. You only get 1 shot. You have a 50-50 chance of making it. If you take a sniper rifle and assuming it's going to fire for 6 turns, you're only going to hit 4 times. Now, assuming you're shooting a character, there's a good chance you'll be wounding that characters on 4s and 5s, which means 4s, 5s, or 6s, which means you've only got 1 sniper rifle has a very slim chance. It's got a 50-50 chance of wounding in the game, roughly, throughout the game. And then it's got a slim chance of that wound being a mortal wound. So basically, you spend 2 points on a sniper, you can't really guarantee that a sniper will do a mortal wound. And if it doesn't do a wound, have you wasted 2 points? Well, kind of, but kind of not. The sniper rifle is so cheap that you don't take 1 sniper rifle and expect it to achieve mortal wounds. You take 20 sniper rifles and you expect them over the course of the game cumulatively to earn their points back. That's kind of the difference between these budget weapons and the more expensive weapons. The budget weapons are designed so you don't take 1 on its own, you take multiples of them, and even if only 1 of those weapons, let's say you take 5 sniper rifles and throughout the course of the game, they only kill 1 Space Marine. That's 13 points. They've made their points back. Because you invested 10 points to kill 13 points. You've made your points back. So that's something you've got to remember with these budget weapons, especially with sniper rifles. They're so cheap that don't expect 1 sniper rifle to get its points back. But do expect 5 sniper rifles to get their points back. So that's a sniper rifle, essentially a long-range bolt with the ability to do some mortal wounds. It's very cheap, it's spammable, but it's not reliable, not in the hands of a guardsman. So its intended battlefield role is obviously to hunt characters. Because you can, target them. That's obviously that's a sniper rifle fluff, and in real life you can target leaders and stuff. In reality, on the tabletop, it doesn't really pay out like that. A lot of characters these days have some way of chipping the mortal wounds off on some kind of bodyguard unit. Tau drones, lich guard, stuff like that. Also, a lot of people, it's quite easy to hide characters out of line of sight, so the sniper can't reach them. And 36 range isn't a guarantee that you're going to be in range anyway. So yes, whilst, and a lot of characters have feel no pain. A lot of characters have a feel no pain of some kind. So with all that combined, the sniper rifle isn't really that ideal for killing characters. What you'll tend to find is it's actually much more, well, not much more ideal. You'll actually find that it's quite good for sneaking the odd mortal wound past your enemy's vehicles. Whenever I take a sniper, I regularly find that I do 1 to 2 mortal wounds with it, with sort of the 5 or 6 that I tend to take, 4 or 5 I should say I tend to take, and I tend to do 1 to 2 mortal wounds, and I tend to always do those mortal wounds to my enemy's vehicles, specifically ones that are toughness 7. I tend to target things like medium tanks with them. Because you've got an equal, you've got a good chance of getting you've got a reasonable chance of getting a couple of mortal wounds with them. And vehicles, the reason why I say this is vehicles tend to have a lot less abilities to ignore mortal wounds. So characters, like we say, they can pass the wounds on, or they have a feel no pain, or they can be hidden out of line of sight. Vehicles, you'll struggle to hide a vehicle completely out of line of sight. They generally don't have a feel no pain of any kind, and generally they can't pass their wounds on. Or generally the enemy's not going to have things around them. They're not going to think, oh, he's going to snipe my vehicle, I better put some lich guard next to him. They're never going to think that. So, so that's kind of the thing. Snipers are actually quite good at hunting light vehicles and not elite infantry. The reason I say not elite infantry is because generally a lot of elite infantry have 2 wounds, and so your single mortal wound doesn't really do very much. What they can be quite good at is targeting MEQ, Marine Equivalent. So, though again, units that you need, the thing that can stop the sniper from being effective is some kind of feel no pain. So you want to target things like Space Marines, infantry, any kind of Space Marine infantry. That's one thing. Anything with a 4-up save or a 3-up save, that's the kind of thing you want to target. Okay? Or vehicles of some kind. So sniper is quite versatile, and the key to its versatility is the fact that it does do mortal wounds. Essentially, the sniper has the ability to get a mortal wound on pretty much any target. Some it finds easier than others. So where would I include a sniper rifle in my army? Okay, where would I put it? Well, it's kind of got a home in multiple places. You could put them in regular infantry squads, but they're going to struggle to hit. Again, with snipers, it's kind of you just fishing for 6s on the wounds, so you just want to get as many hits as possible with them. Now, obviously, Rattling Snipers jump to mind, but what you've got to understand is Rattling Snipers have gone up in points since Chapter Approved. They used to be 7 points with the Sniper Rifle, now they're 9 points. So, and actually, a better place to look for your sort of Rattling Snipers is Command Squads. Command Squads, you can take 4 veterans, which is 6 points each, and you can put a Sniper Rifle in each one. That's 8 points. That's 1 point cheaper than the Rattlings. Now, every save, every penny counts, every point counts. It's only a small saving, but it might make a big difference. The advantage of doing this with sniper rifles, and it's something I didn't pick up on until I saw someone else doing it, is putting sniper rifles in Rattling Squads. The Rattlings can't accept orders because they're not part of the same regiment. They're abhumans, they're auxiliary. Putting them in Command Squads, you can give Command Squads orders. So you kind of want to use Command Squads. If you're taking Rattlings, you kind of want to be taking Command Squads with sniper rifles instead. Exactly the same elite choice, slot. So you definitely want to be thinking about putting snipers there. You can order them, and let me tell you, Cadian Command Squads with 4 sniper rifles, 2 of them, with a senior officer, no, actually I'd say 3 of them, with a senior officer who issues 2 orders, and then you can use like Inspired Tactics, issue a 3rd order. That's 12, and you get them to take aim. That is 12 sniper rifles, hitting on 3s, all of them re-rolling to hit, fishing for 6s. that reliably will get you 1 to 2 mortal wounds a turn, and it is cheap. That is fantastically cheap. If we actually work that out, it is 24 plus 8 for the snipers times 3 plus an officer. Even if you don't go for the officer, but with the officer, that's 126 points. That is very, very reasonable. And considering the enemy's not really going to target them, if you've got other big boom guns like tanks and stuff, your snipers will generally be left to plink away. And when you combine their firepower, it really does allow you to start stacking those mortal wounds. It's an ability I don't think any other faction has. Guard are one of the few factions that really have the ability to take advantage of the sniper rifle. So that's where we put it. Worthwhile note as well, it's potentially, I haven't tried this yet, it's potentially good in veteran squads. Because now that veterans pay more for their plasma and melter, a potentially really good combo squad is the sniper rifle plus the las cannon, because that allows you to take some relatively budget veterans that'll do quite a lot of damage. Yeah, what weapons does the sniper rifle pair well with? It's something I actually forgot to mention with the grenade launcher, but I did. The grenade launcher is a jack of all trades master. It can kind of go in any squad. What weapon does the sniper rifle pair well with? Well, it actually pairs better with weapons such as, like we said, las cannons, because there's no real harm in firing a sniper rifle at a high toughness target. Las cannons obviously are going to be targeting high toughness targets. Sniper rifles can also target those high toughness targets, and they can fish for those mortal wounds. So if you are the kind of person that wants to take veterans, but you don't want them to be getting killed off too early, consider the sniper las cannon veteran squad. Relatively cheap, it'll run you 86 points. That is quite cheap, and again, if you're going something like Cadian, you can take advantage of a lot of rerolls to guarantee that you get those hits in. And of course, if you're taking something like Vestroyan, that's 42-inch range sniper rifle, that's very powerful. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful and informative. I don't use a lot of snipers. I'll tell you where I use snipers mostly, and this is where I've got a lot of my experience from. Command squads, where I take my autocannon, my flag, and my sniper rifle. I tend to take about 4 of those in an army. And over the course of the game, those 4 sniper rifles tend to rack up 1 to 2 mortal wounds, which is normally enough for them to earn their points back. So that's how I like to run my sniper rifles. If you guys could leave down in the comments how you like to run your sniper rifles, how you found it most effective. Do you like to spam them? Or have you found just spamming them just isn't that effective? And instead it's better to take a few, sprinkle through your army as some sort of cheap, budget special weapons that occasionally surprise you. Which option do you think is the better one for competitive guard play? So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Leave lots of comments, and I'll see you guys next time.